Hey, shout out folks, it's Bob the Old Rucker, and thanks for listening to Shout Out from the Pit. Just a few admin notes before we launch into our show. First, thanks for the great feedback as always. Please keep sending suggestions on how we can improve your show. Everybody has a story, and Redbeard and I want you to encourage folks by sharing your experience, strength, and hope, and letting folks know that they are not alone. It's simple, really. Just tell us what your challenge was and how you overcame it. Check out shoutoutfromthepit.com and briefly share your story under our contact tab. We'll reach out to you for a chat and talk about doing a show. Remember to just give us your first name and what state or country you're from. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Merchandise and branding. We're asked about shirts and merch, and though it all sounds awesome, we don't have a budget yet to go that direction. So if you feel you have graphic skills and merchandise opportunities that are cheap or really cheap, like maybe even free, and made in America, of course, hit us up at shoutoutfromthepit.com. And huge shout out to our anonymous donor for the window stickers. I just have to figure out a way to get them to you. The buck bucket is up. Hit the donation link on shoutoutfromthepit.com and help us update our ancient equipment and grow the show. A buck here and a buck there, and pretty soon we've got a better quality show and opportunities to bring Shout Out from the Pit to a city near you. Literally. More on this in the future. And be sure to subscribe to the show and share it with a friend. You'll get Diane's missives full of awesome tools, wisdom, and encouragement, and episodes designed to edutain as you trudge the road to happy destiny. All right, here we go. My wife, the better half of Team BS, that's Bob and Shannon, shared with me the 3 A's: awareness, acceptance, and action. I'm going to use that methodology for this show and see where it goes. The title for this episode is Let It Go, Be You. That's right, just be yourself. And you might be asking, just exactly who am I? Especially if you spent years or maybe a lifetime trying to be someone else to fit in. So many of us enter a recovery program and discover we've adjusted so much to the needs of someone else or a few someones that we might have, become a doppelganger, an entirely different person, even to ourselves. If you identify so far, hang on. Let's see where this show's going. I used to love watching Popeye the Sailor Man when I was a kid. One of his catchphrases is, "I am what I am." But even Popeye, once he got a hold of a can of spinach, became someone else. As an awkward kid, I didn't think people liked me. I was terrible at sports, games, conversations, and any activities, really. I tried to improve my sports game, but you've either got it or you don't. I don't. And in other areas of my life, for whatever reason, I just felt like I didn't fit in. And how many times throughout my life have I heard others say that? So I know I'm not alone, and folks, neither are you. I hated it for me then, and I hate it for you now. Ever heard someone called a people pleaser, a butt kisser? Ever heard someone say, "This is just the way that I am"? I'm certainly not saying everyone has a pretend protective shell around them. Maybe there are folks who have genuinely gone through life totally content with themselves. I'll just say up front, congratulations, and yes, I'm jealous. I, myself, became an award-winning actor at a very young age. I just never got publicly recognized or made any money off my acting. I was most definitely a master chameleon. I learned to pretend to be anyone but myself. I'd make up stories, lie, and say what I thought people wanted to hear because I thought telling the truth about my boring life would just put people to sleep. The gist is that I spent a whole lot of years being one big phony. And then on top of being phony, I was crazy fearful of people finding out I was a phony. What a crazy existence. Why are we afraid to just be ourselves? And wait, there's more. After being a phony for so long, do we just get discontented with everything in life altogether? Like nothing is ever right? Do ifs and buts control our brains? Have we gotten to a point where we don't even think we deserve to be happy? Do we think God is punishing us? Do we believe that we are what we feel we are? And here's a tough question. Are we living an unrighteous life? Doing things we know we shouldn't do? All right, not preaching here, but hurts, habits, and hangups keep us from the sunlight of the Spirit. Consequences of our lifestyles have a way of getting our attention. And for many of us, we don't see the light until we feel the heat. And perhaps that's when we become aware. The first A in the 3 A's, awareness. In recovery programs, mentors and sponsors help us identify those areas where we are weak. Not an easy pill to swallow. I mean, really, who wants to admit a weakness? We lived so long pretending to be strong just to survive, and now we have to admit our weaknesses. Oh, heck no. At this point, we can stop the process and just move on with our pitiful lives, or we can accept it. The second A in the 3 A's, acceptance. Embrace the suck. Experience for a moment the Eeyore complex. I'm sorry I'm alive today. It's okay to sit on the pity pot. It's just not okay to stay there. In recovery, we have therapists, groups, mentors, and sponsors that help us identify these hurts, habits, and hangups and help us to deal with them. The real question is, what are you willing to do? All right, so that leads us to the final A in the 3 A's, action. Let it all go. Let it all go. Quit driving down the road staring in the rearview mirror. Like Dwight says, bringing up my past is like robbing a house I used to live in. I don't live there anymore. Sure, I get it. This journey of discovery doesn't happen overnight, but we got to start sometime. And I say the time is now. Nothing good just happens. We got to make them happen. Lack of self-respect is being afraid to be ourselves. We are unique, wonderfully made creatures designed for a purpose. We've got quirks, sure, but we also have strengths and gifts. Individually, we just got to work on discovering our purpose. Let's have some self-respect and get started. And embrace the suck, because it's gonna hurt. I read this little snippet in the Daily Reflections from October 4th. I love spending time in my garden, feeding and pruning my beautiful flowers. One day, as I was busily snipping away, a neighbor stopped by. She commented, "Oh, your plants are so beautiful, it seems such a shame to cut them back." I replied, "I know how you feel, but the excess must be removed so they can grow stronger and healthier." Later, I thought that perhaps my plants feel pain, but God and I know it's part of the plan, and I've seen the results. I was quickly reminded of my precious recovery program and how we all grow through pain. I asked God to prune me when it's time so I can grow. Again, I say embrace the suck and enjoy the journey. Okay, now what? May I humbly suggest a couple of things? My first thought is that it took months, years, maybe your lifetime to build unhealthy hurts, habits, and hangups. So now it's time to overcome hurts and hangups by building healthy habits. My in-depth web research says a habit can take anywhere from 18 to 254 days to become automatic, with an average of 66 days. 66 days is a little more palatable than almost a year. The exact time depends on the individual, the type of habit, and their circumstances. Don't let variables and statistics get in the way and determine whether you're a candidate for success or not. Those are distractions. Man, I just say do it. Get an an accountability partner. Put some sticky notes all over your house. Whatever it takes. Just get in the mode where you're going to make some positive changes in your life and do it. And those insecurities that creep over our shoulders and whisper in our ears using words that are comfortable for you, let those voices know their days of renting space in your head for free are over. Or how do they say in New York? Over. When we don't like ourselves, we do stupid things. Building healthy habits to be the mysterious person we're going to be doesn't have to be hard science. All right, so consider some strategies. Start small and specific. Like just an example using exercise. If your goal is to walk, I don't know, say 5 miles every other day, just start with a quarter mile for the first week and work up. Whatever's comfortable for you, but just do it. Use habit stacking. I did not say snacking. Use habit stacking. Attach a new habit to an existing routine. For example, if you want to build some muscle, wear a small weighted pack with just a few pounds while you're walking. And the old rucker can speak from experience on this. Yeah, I'm using my own. Here we go. Be consistent, not perfect. Don't beat yourself up for missing a day. An occasional lapse will not derail your long-term progress. Make it convenient. If your goal is to walk more, keep a pair of walking shoes near your door so you are more likely to use them. And there's other things you can do as well, but you fill in the blanks. Identify your motivation. Understand your why. Keep telling yourself the why. Focusing on a positive outcome, such as having more energy, looking better, fitting into a size smaller jeans. These are often more powerful and lasting. Track your progress. Monitor your behavior using a calendar or an app. Seeing your progress over time can build a confidence and keep you motivated. I use the free app, Map My Run. I say that again, Map My Run. It tracks my events and gives me stats for each event. Did I mention it's free? Yeah, my favorite 4-letter word that starts with F. Folks, there are a lot of apps out there, so choose what works for you. And finally, reward yourself. Immediate rewards are crucial for cementing a new behavior. Link a reward you enjoy with your new habit. And listen to your favorite podcast while you're exercising. I don't know, like Shout Out from the Pit. Okay, whatever. Okay, my second humble suggestion while you're building a new habit or make it part of your habit building, do something for someone else. I can't get off this rock, folks. I'll say this on every episode. There's some real spiritual magic in doing good for things for other people. And I'm not talking about people pleasing. In fact, do those nice things anonymously and keep it between you and God. Good things happen to good people, but good things don't just happen. You gotta make them happen. All right, so I got this next reading from Hazelton's Today's Gift, dated 23 October 2025. The universe is made up of stories, not atoms. There was once a storyteller who told many people of her life. They listened and heard their own stories in hers. Hearing her story, they didn't feel so lonely anymore. Hearing about someone else who had lost things and people she loved, who had felt lonely, scared, and unsure of herself, let them feel less crazy when similar things happened to them. Because of the healing they felt through hearing someone else's story, some of the listeners decided to become storytellers themselves. As they recounted their stories, they found that letting out secrets that had bothered them for years freed them to feel good about who they are and who they had always wanted to be. You hear me say this on every episode. You have a story, and we have a platform for you to get your story heard, which is good for you and good for others. Again, go to shoutoutfromthepit.com and briefly share your story. We'll take it from there. Okay, so we've reached the end of the episode and the 3 A's: awareness, acceptance, and action. Episode 15 talked about pillars of recovery and goal setting. It was a fast-paced episode, but there might be some stuff in there that helps you to become you and build good habits. I myself am still on a lifelong journey to be me, and I like this journey. I'm getting better all the time. Here's a final thought from a page 102 in the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, and you don't have to be a recovering alcoholic for it to apply. Your job now is to be at the place where you may be of maximum helpfulness to others. So never hesitate to go anywhere if you can be helpful. You should not hesitate to visit the most sordid spot on earth on such an errand. Keep on the firing line of life with these motives, and God will keep you unharmed. All right, folks, that's a wrap for today's show. So what say you on this episode? Leave your thoughts and comments on shoutoutfromthepit.com or wherever you're listening to this. And I've never said this before, but hit like. No, I say it every time, actually. And subscribe and share it with a friend. It's for free and for fun. And remember, if you want to feel good about yourself, go out and do something for someone else. And finally, as always, you're not alone. If no one's told you they love you today, we love you. God bless you and have an outstanding American day. This is Bob the Old Rucker. Peace out.